What's up, everyone? It's Tuesday, November 22nd, 2016, and it's time to go to work on music. Now, as you can see, we're here. Got some construction, some tree trimming going on outside. They've been going all morning. They're hopefully almost close to done. We'll see. Tried to take off and get a haircut. Haircut place was closed. So today is off to a bit of a rocky start, but it's going to be a great day because we are locked in the lab all day. And that's what it's all about. And I couldn't be more stoked about that because the last few days have been rough if you've been following along. There's a lot of other commitments, and it's all good. It's all good. It's all part of me being the person I want to be. And I also am really excited about getting to focus on my number one passion here, which is music. So today is going to be a drum day. We're going to work on that. We're going to do some online learning. We're going to take our time with that stuff because we got a lot of bandwidth, which is good. And then the main project today is going to be putting together my new live monitoring setup and PA system, and then also running through the entire set of 4 new songs that I've put together, and then possibly starting work on a cover tune for this upcoming show. So it's going to be a big day. Let's get to it. A really good article on how successful people manage stress. I was talking about this in yesterday's video, and I posted it on my Twitter yesterday, so go check it out if you haven't. I mean, I didn't even get through the whole article yesterday because there's 10 different tips on how to manage stress, and I got so caught up in one of them that was just like, boom, that I didn't even get to the other ones, but I just finished it, and I'm gonna keep coming back to that over time. I mean, that stuff is just like, that's well worth just like burning into the brain. Just make that stuff automatic. So always great to find new information, man. New information changes your perspective, gives you more leverage. That's what it's all about. So I'm gonna get into some music business class now. Okay, going hard here on the research front, as you can see, and I'm feeling the burn a bit. So I'm gonna shift gears here in a moment, do a drum practice, but before I do that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna continue my review of the business class I've taken so far. You watched me going through some stuff, and that was like taking me off on some research tangents, which is always good. Um, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna message 10 of my friends who know my music, and I'm gonna ask them what are the 3 bands that my music reminds you of, or that you feel like I sound like. And I'm gonna take those responses and try to compile them and sift through some genres and just try to match that up with what I've been doing with my own self-analysis of genre stuff, and see if I can really pin down my niche as best as I possibly can. So yeah, then I'm moving on. All right, good drum practice there. Took a little break, and actually starting to hear back from some friends about the genre stuff I was talking about before the drum practice, just like trying to get inside other people's heads and get out of my own head and figure out what some bands are that come to mind when people listen to my stuff. So really, really helpful, really informative, and just I know it's going to be super valuable going forward. So it's sometimes a little tough to ask, but most definitely worth it. Oops, smashed a cord. Next step today is to get into this live show and move that forward. I really want to set up the monitoring setup and PA, and I was sort of mentally strategizing around that, but now that I'm talking to you guys about it, I realize I need to just do it. And then I'll just refine it as I go, but I need to just like get through it so I can get a big picture perspective of what's going on. And then what am I going to do? Then I'm going to start running through the set. So I'll probably take a break in between there. We'll see how I'm doing in the next hour or so. Probably about due for some food and a break in about an hour. But yeah, here we go. Okay, quickly want to show you guys what I'm doing here. I got a set of Bose earbuds, and these are for sports use. So the interesting thing about them is that they actually don't like completely block your ear canal. They leave some space open so you can hear ambient sounds, and it's made so like if you're jogging or running like on the freeway, or not freeway, but if you're biking or something on a road, you can still hear cars passing by. You can hear your environment even though you're listening to music, so it's like for safety reasons. But the reason I got it is I don't necessarily want to pipe the entire mix of what's happening into just my monitors. I want to be able to hear the room and hear what the PA is doing, as well as have a click track in my ear that's not coming through the PA. So in order to do that with the RC50 loop station, I need to send the click to the sub output, put the headphones into the sub output, and then send the main output to the PA. Of course, there are other ways of doing that, but that's, I think, the simplest solution that I've come up with for now. So that's what I'm testing out for the very first time tonight. I think what I might have to settle for right now is that the mix to these is going to be in mono, but then hopefully the overall mix will be in stereo, so I'll still be able to hear that stereo spread in the room. And hopefully the click will be, what I'm considering doing is just sending the click to the monitors. I'm not sure, I haven't decided yet. This is all brand new, so that's what I'm working on right now. Okay, getting close to break time here, but what I discovered is that what's happening for some reason is if I plug into the headphone jack, then I can get stereo sound in the earbuds, but then I can't isolate the click from what's going out to the PA, and I don't want the click going out to the PA to the audience. So I was just playing around with it, and apparently if I plug into the sub, I only get the left channel for some reason. Even when it's in mono, I still just get the left channel instead of both channels mono. So I'm not sure what's happening with that. There may be a workaround for that, but that's happening for all my headphones, so I'm assuming it's an internal issue with the loop station, and I'm not sure what the story is with that, or if there's a workaround for that. So I might have to look into that. But for now, what I just figured out is I cannot mute the sound going into the earbuds because I can't adjust the volume of the sub output either, which is a little bit unnerving. So if something gets really loud, it's just going to be a constant level in my earbuds, which is really unnerving. But what I did figure out is I can take the patches and the input, and I can eliminate those from the in-ear monitor. So what I could do is just have the click track in the in-ear monitor. It would only be in the left side, and then I can also adjust the volume of that independently. So that's probably the best
option at the moment. It's not ideal. What I really wanted was independent volume adjustment in both ears for the monitors, like a stage setup would be basically, and then also hearing what's happening with the PA. But this actually might work out better because what I'll be hearing is as close as I could possibly get to what the audience is hearing through the PA, because otherwise I would have the signal from the monitors and then also the signal from the PA, and then I could see like that could theoretically cause problems, even though technically it would be more accurate in terms of my own monitoring. But that's where I'm at right now. It's always a bit difficult and a bit frustrating hitting those technical challenges, and obviously it's not the most exciting to watch. Just bent over, just screwing around with all this stuff, but this is the stuff that makes it happen, man. I mean, this is, this is it. This is the nitty gritty. Is like, okay, how am I going to get the click track in the in ears, and still have control over whatever's going around and still hear what's happening. It's fun for me. I love it. I mean, it's sometimes the thrill of victory, sometimes the agony of defeat, but it's all the process, and it's all beautiful, and I think it all comes out in the final product, and it's just a cool thing. So at least I have something that's functional. Like if I had to go do the show tomorrow and I needed a click track in the ear, I would have it. So I'm making progress with this, and it's just something I'm going to build on, and it's why I just did sketches of the live versions of the song, because I knew I was going to be changing the whole audio setup and the sound of everything and monitoring and all that stuff. So I think what I'm going to do now is just shut everything down for about an hour, eat like a real meal, relax for a minute, and then come back and hit the show for maybe an hour or two a little bit later, and I'll see how I do with that. Take you guys along.
All right, wrapping up an epic day in the lab today, and didn't get quite as far as I planned, but sometimes you shoot for the moon and you hit a star. So the good news is I did get the live setup about 99% locked. I'm considering adding another speaker setup, because these speakers, even though I really really love them, for so many reasons they only run in mono, which is definitely kind of a pain. Um, I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I mean, I thought about rewiring it, but that's like really ambitious right now. So, what I may do is just add a second one to get true stereo sound, and that would be pretty much what the live setup is. I'm already getting a little overwhelmed by the amount of gear that there is, and that's that's really been an issue recently, and it's really discouraged me from performing live a lot. Um, I mean, obviously, so much of what I do is live, but I mean, like, taking my gear out of the studio and performing live there, instead of filming myself performing live in the studio. So there's a lot for me to think about there, because I sort of feel like there's two paths that I could go down, and I could go down both of them at the same time, but I kind of feel like it might be wise to focus on one and then maybe add the other in on top of that, and instead of like trying to grow with both at the same time. But I don't know. If you have thoughts on that, please let me know. But as far as what was great about today, got the live setup locked in. The monitors are good. I am not running any track sounds through the in-ears. I'm just running the click track, which is great because then I'm just focusing on what's coming out of the PA. I feel like I'm close to what the audience is hearing. And it's a little tough to monitor at such low volume, but that won't be an issue when I'm performing, not at like 10 p.m. in my house. So that was a great step in the right direction. Had a good review of a track, which was great, just kind of getting back in the groove with that. And that track is kind of heavy. It was going to be the opener possibly, but I don't know if that's really a true opening track right there. That's like some really heavy stuff. So I don't know. I'm going to have to really think about that. Maybe it'll work. But basically what I'm going to do now is just break down the studio, break down the PA, store everything, and then call it a day. And I just want to thank you guys for checking this out and participating, and I hope that you learned something. I know those long stretches of just watching me, do whatever sort of in fast motion. It's like, I don't know, maybe it's super boring. Let me know if it is. I can certainly cut those down, but I think for me, just like if no one ever watches this video, if it's just for me, just like my own posterity, I want to know how much time I was putting in. I want to be able to look back and prove it and say, run the numbers on this. And it really adds up. And when I watch those vlogs where I'm just going, I really get this other outside perspective that I don't always have of like, all right, I'm putting in the time, And it's a good thing. I think it's really good, whatever I can do to get that objectivity, that outside perspective on myself, I think is valuable. So I'm in a good place, really happy with the session, and just so glad to be back in the groove with a full day to just marinate in the lab, guys. So live show's coming together. December 17th is the deadline. We're gonna make it. It's gonna be awesome, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for more. Hope you're out there doing something beautiful with your life, whatever that looks like for you. Just more power to you creating what you want. Peace.